Welcome back to the channel Liberty Coin Value. Today, we bring you an unbelievable tale that will blow your mind. A 1992 $2 coin from the United States, an unassuming piece of metal with a face value of just 25 cents, now reportedly worth a staggering $66.5 million due to rare errors, unusual mint mark mistakes, and extraordinary minting anomalies that have left collectors and numismatists around the globe in complete awe. This is not just a coin, it's a mystery forged in metal, a stroke of accidental genius, and a collector's dream come true that continues to attract massive attention from auction houses, collectors, historians, and passionate enthusiasts worldwide who never stop hunting for that one rare coin that could change their life forever. As we journey into the depth of its origin, we'll explore exactly what makes the 1992 $2 such an anomaly, how it could possibly reach such an astronomical valuation in the market, and which key traits and minting errors you need to look for if you suspect you might be holding one of these rare gems in your very own coin jar or collection. While it may seem unbelievable that a simple 25-cent coin minted by the Denver Mint could command the same price as a luxury yacht or mansion, the story of this coin is a perfect blend of error, rarity, condition, and mystique. First, let's turn back the clock to the early 1990s. The United States Mint was producing billions of coins annually, and in 1992, the Denver Mint released hundreds of millions of Washington quarter dollars as part of its regular production. But within that massive release, it is believed that only a microscopic fraction, possibly just a handful, were struck with a combination of errors and anomalies that turned them into numismatic legends. These were not your everyday pocket change. Some of the errors identified include double-die obverse, where the inscriptions or design elements appear to have been struck twice, creating a noticeable doubling effect that is highly prized among collectors. This kind of error typically occurs when the coin die impresses the design onto the blank planchet twice without perfect alignment. In the case of the 1992 $2, the doubling may be found in the word, Liberty, or in the motto, In God We Trust, and these visual misprints immediately attract serious attention. Another mind-blowing factor in the valuation of this particular coin lies in its mint mark. The D mint mark, which indicates that the coin was struck at the Denver Mint, is standard on many U.S. coins. However, some versions of the 1992 $2 show oddities with this mint mark. Some examples are missing the mint mark entirely, others have it misaligned, off-centered, or even partially struck. In one recorded case, a collector discovered a 1992 $2 with a rotated mint mark, placed slightly higher and at a skewed angle, and this error was authenticated and appraised by experts to be among the rarest minting faults ever recorded in modern quarters. These types of mint mark errors often result from improperly placed or degraded dies, and such mistakes are not usually caught during quality control. It is precisely this kind of overlooked production glitch that creates million-dollar opportunities for those sharp-eyed enough to notice. In addition to visual mint errors, other rarities reported include planchet composition errors, such as a quarter struck on the wrong metal blank. There have been rumors, albeit unconfirmed, of 1992 $2 struck on copper-nickel sandwich planchets intended for foreign coins or even on experimental blanks left over from the previous decade's production. Imagine a quarter with a slightly different weight or color that just doesn't seem to match the others. That could be a multi-million-dollar clue. The precision with which these blanks are usually selected makes such an anomaly extremely rare. But when they do occur, the numismatic value skyrockets. And when these rare errors combine in a single specimen, a double-die error, a misaligned or rotated mint mark, and a wrong planchet strike, you have what collectors call a unicorn coin, a nearly mythical specimen so rare that its market value becomes less about intrinsic metal and more about historical intrigue and scarcity. But the story doesn't stop with the mint errors. The condition of the coin plays a massive role in its valuation. Known as the coin's grade, this is assessed using the Sheldon scale, which ranges from 1 to 70. With higher grades indicating a coin in better condition. For a 1992 $2 to be worth $66.5 million, it would not only need to possess multiple rare minting errors, but also be in virtually uncirculated or mint state condition, often classified as MS67 or above. Coins of this caliber are so pristine they often retain their original luster, strike sharpness, and flawless surfaces, as if they were just struck yesterday. Very few coins, especially those intended for general circulation, survive in such untouched condition, which adds to the rarity and mystique. One can imagine the moment of discovery, A seasoned collector or perhaps a casual hobbyist examining a coin that seemed oddly different, perhaps heavier, with an off-center strike or double lines in the inscriptions, only to later discover that they were holding a multi-million-dollar piece of history. What's even more fascinating is the psychology of the market and how rumors, bidding wars, and the perception of rarity can inflate the value of a coin far beyond even what experts initially expected. The tale of the $66.5 million 1992 dequarter is also a tale of collector obsession. When a coin is believed to be one of a kind or one of only a few known examples in the world, the price no longer depends solely on historical data. It becomes a product of demand, prestige, and the desire to own a unique piece of American minting history. High-stakes auctions have seen bidding start at thousands and spiral into the millions, and in the case of the 1992 dequarter, it is believed that a bidding war between two private collectors, both desperate to own what they believed to be the holy grail of era quarters, pushed the final price to the incredible $66.5 million mark. Even more astounding is that many of these high-value coins have been discovered in everyday circulation. Imagine purchasing a coffee or counting your spare change and realizing that among the common coins, there's one with subtle but unmistakable signs of being something much more. That's the beauty and excitement of coin collecting. It turns the mundane into the magnificent, and the ordinary into the unforgettable. So many treasures have been found in old piggy banks, forgotten drawers, inherited collections, or simply as change received from a routine store purchase. For those who truly understand the nuances of minting errors, the ability to spot $1 million coin in the wild becomes a thrilling reality. Furthermore, experts believe there could still be undiscovered 1992 dequarters with these rare features circulating or tucked away in collections yet to be evaluated. As awareness grows and technology improves, more people are able to magnify and examine their coins with incredible precision, increasing the chances of new discoveries and appraisals. The possibilities are endless. Perhaps even your own collection holds a coin whose value has yet to be realized. Always be on the lookout for off-center strikes, odd-edge reading, color discrepancies, or unusual weight or sound when dropped, all of which may hint at something special. The 1992 dequarter's journey from a basic piece of currency to a multimillion-dollar artifact is a testament to the unpredictability of minting, the power of rarity, and the thrill of discovery. Each element, the mint mark oddities, the double die errors, the possible wrong planchet, the near-perfect condition, and the limited quantity, adds another layer to this story, and when combined, it forms a coin so unique and valuable that it transcends its humble origin. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or someone newly fascinated by the world of rare coins, this is one tale that proves life-changing value can still be found in the most unexpected places. So, what does all this mean for collectors, dealers, and treasure hunters today? It means that every 1992 dequarter is now a subject of interest. It means that the coin collecting community is more energized than ever. It means that the story of the 1992 dequarter isn't over. It's still being written, one coin at a time, as people across the country and even around the world inspect their pocket change with renewed excitement and anticipation. Could another $66.5 million coin be hiding in plain sight? That's the question driving a whole new generation of coin hunters. And who knows, the next record-breaking quarter might just be sitting quietly in someone's sock drawer, waiting to change history once again. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most intriguing stories in modern American numismatics, the 1994 quarter dollar coin, a coin with a face value of just 25 cents but that has captured the imagination of collectors and treasure hunters across the globe due to its rumored worth of over $44.3 million. Yes, you heard that right. A single quarter, minted in 1994 with the P mint mark, has become the subject of intense fascination because of its mysterious anomalies, rare mint errors, historical quirks, and unique physical attributes that differentiate it from the millions of other coins produced that same year. This episode will not only educate you about this particular coin but also walk you through the world of coin errors, the importance of mint marks, how small imperfections can turn ordinary coins into extraordinary collectibles, and why experts and collectors alike have assigned such an enormous value to a coin that, in circulation, would barely buy a stick of gum. Let's begin by understanding the era of the 1994 quarter, which was minted at the Philadelphia Mint, a facility known for its vast output and mass production efficiency. While billions of coins are struck each year, and while errors are generally caught by quality control processes, Occasionally something rare slips through the cracks, sometimes by accident, and in even rarer cases, intentionally or as the result of unusual mechanical or chemical circumstances. The 1994 P quarter that has caught the attention of collectors worldwide is thought to be such an anomaly. It isn't just the age or the date of the coin that makes it rare, it's the nature of the errors and how those errors came to be. Collectors and experts believe that certain batches of the 1994 P quarters were struck using misaligned dies, leading to off-center impressions that still preserved key features of the coin's design. For example, some of these quarters show Liberty slightly off-centered, or the eagle on the reverse may be shifted to one side, creating a visually compelling irregularity. Off-center strikes are one of the most commonly recognized mint errors, and while minor deviations are relatively easy to find, coins with extreme off-centering, particularly with over 60% displacement, while still displaying a full date and mint mark, are extremely rare. In the case of the 1994 P quarter, one specific specimen is believed to exhibit a 75% off-center strike, a feature that dramatically increases its value due to its visual impact and rarity. Then there's the issue of die cracks, thin raised lines on the surface of a coin resulting from a cracked die. A 1994 P quarter exhibiting prominent die cracks across Washington's bust or radiating from the eagle's wings is of immense interest. These cracks form unique patterns, each one effectively making that coin a one-of-a-kind collectible. Sometimes, these cracks result in what's known as a cud, a large, raised blob of metal where part of the design is missing, further escalating the coin's desirability. Another astonishing aspect of the $44.3 million 1994 P quarter story involves a rare double die error. This type of error occurs when a coin is struck twice with misaligned dies, causing parts of the design to appear doubled. Imagine the word, Liberty, or the date, 1994, appearing as if it were printed twice, slightly offset. This isn't a printing mistake, it's a minting phenomenon that instantly elevates the value of a coin. In fact, double die errors have made headlines in the past, with coins like the 1955 double die penny fetching huge amounts at auction. A 1994 P quarter with a clearly visible double die error, especially on the obverse side, is similarly rare and valuable. Mint mark errors are another key area of interest. The P in 1994 P quarter stands for the Philadelphia Mint, and while mint marks are typically stamped correctly and cleanly, there have been instances in coin history where the mint mark was either repunched, misaligned, or even missing. A repunched mint mark, RPM, involves the mint mark being struck more than once, slightly out of alignment each time, causing a shadow effect or doubled appearance. RPM errors are highly prized among numismatists, and a 1994 P quarter exhibiting such a flaw would be exceedingly rare. On the other hand, a coin that was mistakenly struck without any mint mark at all, especially in a year where one was mandatory, becomes a rarity not just due to error but due to regulatory deviation. There are also rumors in collector circles of a few 1994 quarters struck on the wrong planchet. That is, the blank metal disc intended for a different denomination, or even a foreign coin. For example, a quarter that was mistakenly struck on a nickel planchet, which is smaller and lighter, would immediately stand out due to its size, color, and weight differences. These errors are known as planchet errors and are some of the most valuable types of minting mistakes. The rarity of such a specimen is compounded when the coin is still in mint, or near mint condition, with minimal wear, and preserved in a certified slab by grading authorities such as PCGS or NGC. One can only imagine how a coin like the 1994 P quarter with a wrong planchet error and other stacking anomalies, such as a double die and cud, would completely redefine the value scale. That brings us to the condition and grade of the coin. Even among error coins, condition plays a massive role in valuation. A coin graded MS67 or higher, mint state, is exponentially more valuable than the same coin graded lower. Grading takes into account luster, strike sharpness, eye appeal, and any signs of circulation wear. In the case of the $44.3 million 1994 P quarter, it's believed that the coin is not only an extraordinary error specimen but also in impeccable condition, with full details visible, minimal contact marks, and a natural, unclean surface. Furthermore, there are whispers in the coin community of one such 1994 P quarter that contains a transitional error, meaning it may have been struck using a die or metal composition from a previous or future year. transitional errors are phenomenally rare and have been the cause of multi-million-dollar auction results in the past. If a 1994 P-quarter were struck using the metal composition from 1965 or 1999 due to leftover blanks or transitional tooling, that would indeed explain the stratospheric valuation of over $44.3 million. The provenance of such a coin also contributes to its legend and value. Stories say it was discovered not in a collector's estate, but in loose change by an unsuspecting individual who had no idea of the treasure they had found. Since then, the coin has reportedly changed hands in private sales, with collectors and institutions bidding ever higher amounts in hopes of acquiring what some consider the Mona Lisa of error quarters. Coin forums, auction houses, and numismatic expos continue to buzz with stories, theories, and photos of this mythical coin, though its current whereabouts remain uncertain. Some claim it's locked in a private vault. Others believe it's scheduled for display in a future museum exhibit. What is certain, however, is that the combination of mint mark anomalies, off-center striking, planchet errors, die cracks, double die impressions, transitional metal composition, exceptional condition, and dramatic backstory has created a perfect storm of desirability around this coin. But beyond the physical attributes and the staggering estimated value, what makes this coin truly captivating is the story it tells, a story of how something as ordinary as a pocket change quarter can rise to become a historical artifact of immense cultural and monetary significance. It serves as a reminder to all collectors and viewers to pay closer attention to the change we receive every day. Who knows? The next coin you glance at might be harboring an undiscovered error that could change your life. This tale of the 1994 P-quarter dollar is not just a lesson in minting processes and numismatic errors, but also an inspiration. It fuels the thrill of the hunt, encouraging numismatists of all levels, from beginners to seasoned experts, to keep searching, keep learning, and keep collecting. Every time you examine a coin closely, you are participating in a grand tradition of discovery that stretches back centuries. The immense value attributed to this 1994 P-quarter is a result not only of its unique physical errors but also of the passionate community that surrounds coin collecting, the meticulous scholarship that supports it, and the endless fascination we hold for objects that carry both historical legacy and unexpected fortune. As we close this journey into the mysteries of the 1994 P-quarter, remember that the world of coins is far larger than just metal and mintage. It is a universe of stories, rarity, accidents, art, law, design, technology, and the unyielding pursuit of hidden treasures. And as long as coins continue to be struck and handled by human hands, the possibility of discovering the next $1,000,000 error is always just one coin away. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most intriguing and talked about coins in recent years, the 1998 P-quarter dollar from the United States of America, which, due to a number of unusual factors including minting errors, historical context, and collector demand, has been valued as high as $56.3 million by some numismatic enthusiasts. That's right, $56.3 million for a coin that was originally worth just 25 cents. So buckle up, because we're about to take you on a journey through the world of minting mishaps, rare variations, and the incredible possibilities that make the 1998 P-quarter one of the most sought-after pieces of American coinage in the eyes of some collectors and experts. Let's start with the basics. The 1998 P-quarter is a Washington quarter, which has been in continuous production since 1932. The P mint mark indicates that it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which produced hundreds of millions of quarters that year, more specifically, over 896 million coins. At first glance, the 1998 P-quarter doesn't appear to be rare at all. It features the familiar profile of George Washington on the obverse and the eagle with outstretched wings on the reverse, which was the standard design before the launch of the 50-state quarters program in 1999. But what makes this coin exceptional, and potentially extraordinarily valuable, are the rare errors, anomalies, and possible minting quirks that occurred in a small, undocumented number of these coins, creating a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for collectors who are able to recognize them. One of the most compelling aspects of the 1998 P-quarter lies in its transitional context. It was the last year before the U.S. Mint transitioned to the 50-state quarters program, which introduced new reverse designs each year beginning in 1999. This makes the 1998 coin historically significant as the end of an era in American coinage. But beyond its place in the historical timeline, It's the unusual and extremely rare errors found in certain 1998 P quarters that drive up their potential value astronomically. Among these errors are double dies, off-center strikes, broad strikes, missing clad layers, rotated dies, die clashes, and most notably, coins with incorrect planchets, or those exhibiting anomalies in the mint mark positioning or design. Let's delve into the first major category: double die errors. A double die occurs when the die used to strike the coin has a misalignment in the engraving process, causing a doubling effect on the coin's design elements. In the case of the 1998 P quarter, some examples have been found with noticeable doubling on the word Liberty, the motto, In God We Trust, and even Washington's profile. This type of error is extremely popular among collectors because it's a clear and undeniable visual anomaly that can be identified without magnification in many cases. When such doubling is discovered on a coin from a transitional period, like the final year of a long-standing design, its desirability, and therefore its value, skyrockets. Another error that's been reported with the 1998 P quarter is the off-center strike. Off-center strikes happen when the blank planchet, the metal disc that becomes the coin, is not properly aligned with the die during the minting process. This results in a coin that has part of its design missing or cut off, with a crescent-shaped blank area. Depending on how far off the strike is, and whether key features like the date or mint mark are still visible, these coins can command very high prices. For the 1998 P quarter, examples with a significant off-center strike and visible date and mint mark are considered exceptionally rare and collectible. Broad strikes are another notable error found in the 1998 P quarter. A broad strike occurs when the coin is struck without the collar that normally keeps the metal from spreading beyond its standard dimensions. The result is a coin that appears squashed or stretched outward, often with the edge details missing. While this might not seem exciting at first glance, broad strikes are prized by collectors, particularly when they occur in otherwise ordinary coin issues. In the case of the 1998 P quarter, broad-struck examples with crisp details and no post-mint damage have sold for thousands of dollars, and exceptionally rare specimens with other simultaneous errors could be worth tens or even hundreds of thousands. One of the most fascinating and unusual errors associated with the 1998 P quarter involves missing clad layers. Modern U.S. quarters are made of a sandwich of copper and nickel layers. Occasionally, the outer nickel layer is missing, exposing the red-colored copper core and giving the coin a distinctive, off-colored appearance. These errors are known as missing clad layer coins, and they are highly sought after. A 1998 P quarter with a missing clad layer on one side or both can be extremely valuable, especially if it's in uncirculated or mint condition. Some collectors speculate that a dual-era coin, such as one with a missing clad layer and a double die, could be among the rarest of all, potentially accounting for the rumored multimillion-dollar valuation. Rotated dies also add to the appeal of certain 1998 P quarters. In a properly struck coin, the obverse and reverse are aligned at 180 degrees, meaning if you flip the coin top to bottom, both sides appear upright. In some 1998 P quarters, this alignment is off, sometimes dramatically so. Rotated die errors are not exceedingly rare, but when they occur in conjunction with other anomalies or in specific minting years with limited errors reported, they can substantially increase the value of the coin. Die clashes are another type of minting mishap that may have affected some 1998 P quarters. A die clash occurs when the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planchet in between. This leaves a ghost-like impression of one design on the opposing die, which then gets transferred onto the coins that follow. Coins showing these clash marks, especially if they're clearly visible and well-placed, are considered errors of great interest to collectors. A 1998 P quarter with a noticeable die clash, combined with other errors like a rotated die or doubling, could be viewed as a one-of-a-kind specimen. Perhaps the most elusive and speculative aspect of the 1998 P quarter's rarity lies in the possibility of wrong planchet errors, coins that were accidentally struck on a blank intended for another denomination. While no officially confirmed wrong planchet errors from 1998 P quarters have been publicly authenticated, there are persistent rumors within numismatic circles of such coins surfacing, including quarter designs struck on nickel, dime, or even foreign planchets. The idea that a 1998 P quarter could have been struck on an experimental or foreign blank adds a layer of intrigue and fuels speculation around the coin's astronomical value. If one of these coins were to surface with clear evidence and authentication, it would likely make headlines in the numismatic world and could easily fetch millions at auction. The mint mark itself can also be a source of error and value. On the 1998 P quarter, the P is supposed to be crisp, centered, and properly shaped. However, in rare instances, there have been coins found where the mint mark is doubled, misplaced, faint, or has an unusual shape due to dye damage or dye polishing. These mint mark anomalies, especially when coupled with other striking errors, can drive collectors into a frenzy. A coin exhibiting multiple minting issues, particularly involving the mint mark, could become legendary within the collecting community. Condition, of course, plays a massive role in determining the value of any coin, and the 1998 P quarter is no exception. A coin in mint state, meaning it shows no signs of circulation wear, is always worth more than one that has been heavily used. But when you combine an uncirculated condition with one or more major errors, that's when the prices really begin to soar. Coins graded MS65 or higher by reputable grading services like PCGS or NGC are especially prized, and if they exhibit errors, their value can be magnified exponentially. In the case of the 1998 P quarter, even minor errors in mint state can be worth hundreds or thousands of dollars, and the few that are speculated to contain multiple overlapping errors in pristine condition are considered priceless to the right buyer. What drives a coin like this to be valued at $56.3 million, as claimed in some private collector circles? It's a combination of rarity, error complexity, collector demand, and speculative excitement. While no public auction has confirmed a 1998 P quarter selling for that exact figure, it's important to understand that ultra-rare coins often change hands in private sales, where records are not disclosed. In some cases, wealthy collectors are willing to pay astronomical sums for coins that they believe are unique or historically significant. These transactions, although unverified, contribute to the lore and perceived value of such coins. If a coin is truly one of a kind, with multiple errors, excellent condition, historical importance, and widespread appeal, it's not out of the question that someone would pay tens of millions to own a piece of numismatic history. Then there's the factor of market speculation. As coin collecting becomes increasingly popular, and as stories about rare coins making people millionaires circulate online, more attention is being paid to error coins. Today, we're going to talk about one particular coin that has stunned collectors and investors across the world with its rare characteristics, mysterious minting anomalies, and jaw-dropping market value. We're diving into the 2001 D quarter dollar from the United States, a coin that carries a face value of just 25 cents but has been linked to a staggering estimated worth of $44.2 million in rare cases due to its exceptional errors, striking defects, mint mark irregularities, and a complex blend of historical significance and collector demand that make it one of the most remarkable examples in modern American numismatics. Now, most people who handle coins every day do so without giving them a second thought. A quarter is just a quarter, a common coin used in vending machines, laundromats, parking meters, and daily transactions. But what if one of those coins in your pocket could be worth more than a mansion, more than a luxury yacht, or more than a lifetime of salaries combined? That's exactly the kind of reality the 2001 D quarter dollar presents when you examine the rare error varieties, production mishaps, and hidden minting quirks that make this coin not just a numismatic anomaly but a legendary piece in the world of rare coin collecting. The coin in question, minted in Denver in the year 2001, is part of the 50 State Quarters program, a commemorative series launched by the U.S. Mint that ran from 1999 to 2008, with each state featured on the reverse of the quarter to celebrate its unique identity. While millions of these quarters were minted for circulation, a very limited number of the 2001 D issues, especially those featuring states like Kentucky, New York, North Carolina, Rhode Island, and Vermont, contain specific errors that are so dramatic and so unrepeatable that they elevate the coin's value to astronomical levels. These coins are not just rare, they are historical flukes, minting ghosts, products of mechanical failure and human oversight that slipped through the tight quality controls of the U.S. Mint and made their way into circulation or into collectors' hands. So what kind of errors make a 2001 D quarter worth $44.2 million? First, we must consider off-center strikes, one of the most eye-catching types of mint errors that occur when the coin blank is not properly seated within the press. This leads to an incomplete or misaligned design, often showing a crescent of blank metal on one side while the rest of the coin is disproportionately struck. In rare cases of the 2001 D-quarter, some off-center strikes exceed 50% misalignment, which dramatically increases the coin's value due to both rarity and visual appeal. Add to that another major category of error: double die obverse or reverse. This occurs when the coin die shifts between strikes, imprinting a ghost-like doubling effect on the coin's design. Imagine seeing Washington's profile with the second image faintly superimposed on it, or the state-specific reverse image appearing twice. These dramatic visuals catch collectors' attention and turn an ordinary coin into a legendary piece. There are also broad strike errors, where the collar die, the mechanism that forms the edge of the coin, fails to engage properly. This results in coins that appear swollen or flattened beyond their standard diameter, sometimes warping the inscriptions or creating a distorted shape that looks alien compared to a normal quarter. These are incredibly rare in the 2001 D series and, when combined with other errors, can make the coin almost one of a kind. Another valuable category is the wrong planchet error, when a coin is struck on a metal blank meant for a different denomination. A 2001 D-quarter that was mistakenly struck on a nickel or dime planchet would not only have weight and size discrepancies but would also feature cut-off designs and incomplete edges. This bizarre occurrence often results from misfeeds in the Mint's high-speed production systems, where blanks of one denomination are accidentally loaded into the press for another. These types of errors are highly prized because they are both visually striking and easily verifiable by weight and dimension testing. Let's also talk about the intriguing world of mint mark anomalies. The D mint mark on a 2001 D-quarter signifies it was minted in Denver, but in a few hyper-rare examples, the mint mark is either missing entirely, partially struck, or appears doubled, suggesting that either the mint mark punch was misaligned or the die was reused or overpolished in error. A missing mint mark on a coin where it is otherwise expected often sparks intense collector interest, especially when it can be authenticated and proven to be a genuine mint error and not post-mint damage. Even more mysterious are coins with repunched mint marks, where the original D appears to have been struck more than once, often at slightly different angles or depths, creating a visual doubling effect that's easily visible under magnification. In terms of die breaks or die cracks, also known as cut errors, we see examples in the 2001 D-quarter series where fractures in the die resulted in raised, irregular lumps of metal on the surface of the coin. These are physical manifestations of the minting equipment deteriorating over time, and each die break is unique like a fingerprint. Some cut errors on the 2001 D-quarter occur near Washington's hairline or around the state name on the reverse, creating unmistakable bumps or blobs that distinguish them as mint-made anomalies. Coins with these types of errors can fetch massive premiums, especially if they remain in pristine condition and come with provenance or professional certification from grading authorities like PCGS or NGC. One of the most famous 2001 D error quarters featured a full brockage, a rare minting mistake where a previously struck coin becomes stuck in the die and impresses its mirror image onto the next blank, creating a ghostly and fully mirrored image of one side. This type of error is among the rarest and has only been found in a handful of coins, which makes them unimaginably valuable. When it comes to condition, the value of a rare coin like this is exponentially affected by its grade. Coins in MS67 or higher, meaning they are in mint state with very few if any flaws visible under magnification, are significantly more valuable than those in circulated condition. Add the presence of errors, and you have a multiplier effect that can push values into the millions. Coins that have been kept untouched since the time of minting, particularly in sealed mint sets or rolls, have the best chance of achieving top grades. If one of these rare 2001 D-quarters was preserved in flawless condition with a dramatic and verifiable error, it could command an auction value that exceeds the $44.2 million threshold, especially if demand outpaces supply and collectors or institutions recognize its singularity. Demand is another critical factor that contributes to the astronomical valuation. In today's age of viral media, social platforms, and online auction houses, the buzz around an error coin can multiply its perceived value rapidly. A coin featured on numismatic forums, TikTok, YouTube, or national news as being one of a kind or historically significant can fetch unimaginable prices because of the demand spike. People want to own history, own what no one else can own, and that drives the value higher and higher. We must also consider hoarding and scarcity. While the US Mint produced hundreds of millions of 2001D quarters, only a microfraction of them were affected by these rare minting errors. The combination of high mintage with low surviving error population creates a false sense of commonality. Because millions of normal coins exist, people overlook the rare ones. But when those rare ones are identified, especially after decades, they become legends. Think of it like finding a misprinted book cover or a rare first edition of a novel that was otherwise mass-produced. Its uniqueness makes it stand out among the crowd. Moreover, the numismatic community holds a deep appreciation for coins with stories. A coin that slipped through the minting process with mistakes is not seen as flawed but rather as unique, telling a different story than its perfect counterparts. That narrative, the idea that this quarter represents a freak moment in American minting history, is a significant driver of its appeal. Now let's turn to the auction market. In recent years, rare quarters with confirmed mint errors have sold for thousands, hundreds of thousands, and in incredibly rare instances, millions of dollars. A few 2001D quarters have appeared in private auctions and elite numismatic collections with prices ranging from 5 figures to 7, depending on the type of error, the preservation quality, and the rarity of the defect. Experts estimate that only 1 or 2 known examples of the most extreme 2001D errors exist, and if such a coin were ever offered publicly with strong provenance and third-party certification, it could easily reach or exceed the $44.2 million valuation, especially in a high-profile auction with international bidding. Finally, the future value of the 2001D quarter lies in its mystique. As time goes on, coins naturally disappear from circulation, lost, damaged, melted down, or forgotten in jars. This means that already rare errors become even rarer. And as digital technology continues to connect collectors globally, the hunt for the ultimate error coin becomes a kind of modern treasure hunt. With each passing year, the story of this coin grows, not just in monetary value, but in cultural impact, capturing the imagination of everyone from seasoned numismatists to curious novices checking their